What's going on, friends? This is Dr. Terza coming to you from my couch and from the 1000 Seeds YouTube channel. I'm glad you're here with me. I can't really say I've had an exciting week. You can see how fabulous I'm looking. It's been a really rough week, and I decided to present myself as I am today because it actually has a lot to do with the episode, the theme of this episode. And so I hope you can relate. I hope you don't mind that I'm coming to you this fabulous today, but I'm going to explain to you what's going on. So I decided to do an episode specifically on Mother's Day because I wanted to have a conversation with those of us who mother, right? So it could be someone who identifies as a mother, someone who is a guardian and takes care of children. So any of those who use mother as a verb. So I wanted to have a conversation with those of us who do that job. And part of that conversation has to do with how difficult that job is, taking care of others, especially young children, and even when they become adults, and how difficult that is, coupled with having to do your work, having to take care of other people. There are people out there who are doing that and taking care of parents and siblings and even partners, husbands, wives. And so I wanted to have that conversation, how hard that is and how much that affects people's mental health. I had both my children at 34 and 36 while I was a tenure track professor and had just moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. And all of that, just managing my life as a mom, as a scholar, as a wife, as someone who had to work on promotion and tenure. For those of you who understand all of that means job security. For those outside of academia, it was really difficult. And when you're in it, you don't really notice what's going on. I didn't notice what was going on until my 40s, until the anxiety and depression really got down to it. And I found myself just always, my heart was always beating fast, being afraid and being really fearful of being in certain situations, being around a lot of people, wanting to do a lot of sleeping and things of that nature. And so when some of you ask me, what is 1000 Seeds and why did I start 1000 Seeds? It was actually homework that my therapist gave me. My therapist actually asked me to write down those things that I used to do that I don't do anymore that bring me joy. Things that I used to do that I still want to do, but because of my anxiety and depression, I decided that I'm just gonna lay on my couch and not do any of that. And one of those things is photography. I love, taking pictures. I love capturing images of my children, of our vacations and nature and just interesting things around me that just make me smile. And that's why I started 1000 Seeds, which it's for my love of sunflowers. The sunflowers have 1000 seeds, and that's where that name came from. So first I started the Instagram page, and then it became to a full-blown YouTube channel because friends and my Twitter community was encouraging me to do so. So I said, you know what, let me get out of my comfort zone. Let me try to get back to some sense of normalcy. And here I am. So why am I looking like this today? Because I've had a really tough week. It was the end of the semester and a lot of responsibilities, both at home and at work. So having to put Dr. Terza's hat on and take it off when I come home to be mommy, mama, and all the other stuff my kids call me. And it was a tough week, having to deal with, the administrative part of being a department chair. And it was really a tough week. So I'm tired. And for me to make my face look amazing, I think I'm pretty, but to put on the little makeup and the concealer under the eyes and the little lip gloss and all of that, that actually was a lot for me. And my hair's like this because I've got my conditioner in it. My sister's gonna come over, my sister Deanie that you met last week, she's coming over to blow dry my hair. But I decided to take a shower to just feel better, to feel refreshed. But it's been a tough week, and I wanted to just keep it real with you and show you that this is what happens. Sometimes you just don't have any more to give. This is what happens when you're a mom, that you're a scholar, when you're a human and you're a professional. You're trying to, I don't call it a balancing act, I call it a juggling act. There's too much going on. And so this is Terza being her authentic self in front of you, saying that stuff happens, and even when you plan to do some things and it doesn't happen, but that's okay. Well, I do know that when I'm feeling better, my family is feeling better. In my 40s, definitely, and this is my birthday month, I definitely tried my best to take care of myself, and that's what this episode is all about. I wanted to talk to you about the ways that I try to take care of myself and give myself moments just for me. And so I decided to go do one of my writing retreats in Montreal, Canada, Montreal, and I wanted to share that experience with you and what I was able to do in that space that gave me that live in the moment sort of feel and just really, really enjoy myself. So today I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to just be present and live in the moment based on this trip that I just took. Absolutely fell in love with it, and I definitely want to go back. And I just felt really awesome, and I was able to just do a lot of things that brought joy to my heart. And so I want to tell you that the 3 things that I did in Montreal that was really amazing, and also that are things that I try to do here at home in the US, on a consistent basis. It doesn't always work, but these are the things that I try to do, because we live in an environment and a society that is extremely fast-paced. We always feel like we have to keep producing something. Our productivity is at core, that we have to seem like we're busy, and I'm doing my best to get away from that. So when I was in Montreal, one of the best things that I did was sit at coffee shops, cafes. It's also one of my favorite things to do in the US. So I took the opportunity to sit at different coffee shops for every day that I was there, just to sit, not really be on social media or my phone, but just sit there and observe and take on the life of the city. I try to go to different types of coffee shops to see the environment and the vibe, the type of people that were there. So I try to be there in the moment and be present, even though I was writing. I'm working on this new manuscript. But I would of course look up and enjoy what was around me. thing that I did that was really, really awesome was that I visited some sites. One of them being a historic site. For example, the Basilica of Notre Dame, the church. It was probably the most beautiful church that I've ever been inside of, and it was absolutely gorgeous. I was able to again sit there and be able to take in and be in the moment and look at the artistic, creative designs that were around me, the stained glass windows, and just also watching other people take all of that in. Completely amazing. So that was a really, really awesome experience. Going to museums and going to the old port, watching people, zip line. That was really, really cool. So I was definitely able to see Montreal's culture come to life with those, with sightseeing. So that was pretty awesome. The last thing that I did in Montreal, which is probably my second favorite thing that I did there, because the first was the coffee shop. I walked around with no agenda, with no plan. I decided to just ask the rideshare person to drop me off, and I had my backpack, I had my water, my umbrella, and I walked around. I walked around because that's when you really end up finding some gems, and you really get in touch with like cute little places, or you make a right turn or a left turn that, you know, on a street and you don't expect it to be there, and you run into this place that is just so cute, and the architecture of the city is just spectacular. And I ended up running into a cute little coffee shop, Suzette, and I sat there. Actually, you'll see it in the video. I sat there and it was amazing. If I was in the car, or if I had decided to stay in my hotel or whatever, I wouldn't have run into this place. It was absolutely so cute. Had a seat by the window, was able to watch life happen, to watch people walk by. So I had a good time just walking around some of the spaces in Montreal. Probably, my second favorite thing to do. The other great thing about walking around, it was that I looked at my vitals on my phone and stuff, and I ended up walking like 5 miles. I was like, what? Who is this chick? 5 miles. That's good for your health. That's good for your heart. That's good for depression and anxiety, you know, for a mental state. That's good for all of that. So I was pretty impressed with myself. I was like, you go ahead, girl. Yes, I was, you know, it made me feel really good. I was so excited. I ended up calling my husband and telling him about it, because I hadn't walked that long in so long. I hadn't been that adventurous in so long. So that was really, really awesome. I was proud of myself for that. three things that I did, sitting at coffee shops, going to visit different sites, and walking around, taking in the life and the culture of the city, were absolutely amazing. Now, for those of us who cannot make it to Montreal, or even to another city or to another state, that's okay. Try to think about the places that are in your neighborhood or in your immediate vicinity that you haven't had a chance to take a look, to visit, and make that something to do. And maybe I'm the last person to be giving advice because I've really sucked at this, but I've been making a promise to myself to be more active, to get out and do more, to still have fun with my friends on Twitter, but to also check out from time to time, like literally check out and just be in the moment and be present. As much as I love to watch my true crime shows, sometimes I have to remember that I can actually put my podcast, my true crime podcast, in my ear and go walking around instead of being in front of the television doing that. And so I want to wrap up this episode by saying thank you for being here, for accepting me as I am today in all of my fabulousness. Yes, honey, I know my hair is going to look good because I've got this leave-in conditioner situation going on, and it's going to look fabulous. Thank you for allowing me to be my authentic self. Happy Mother's Day to all of those who mother. And most importantly, don't forget to take care of yourself and give yourself some grace. Like, give yourself a break and be okay with the fact that sometimes you don't gotta have it all together. Like today, I don't have it all together. I'm wearing, I'm just making sure the water doesn't drip all the way down here. I'm wearing this, kindness, whatever this shirt says. I don't know. So take care of yourselves. That's most important. Put your oxygen mask on first before you try to put other people's oxygen mask on. And sometimes when stuff happens, say it's okay and try again. Don't beat yourself up too much. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to tell your primos and your tias and all of them to like and subscribe as well if you like the content that you saw today. Don't forget to go back and look at my other videos. There's more amazing content to come. And thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.